Good morning, 5C. Today is 9th of June, Tuesday. Okay, today is the first day of your science HPL. Okay, so this week we'll be finishing up using electricity, and also we'll be going through your worksheets, some questions, as well as to go through the remaining parts of your review test 1. Okay, we only have the structure and the open-ended left. Okay, so let's start off with using electricity safely and wisely. So in the previous activity, you realize that we are talking about how to use electricity safely, how to use it wisely as well, and the importance of doing that, okay, to protect ourselves and also to save resources. Okay, so after watching the video, after going through the slides, okay, so now we will fill in the blanks for the SIN for page 8 to page 12. Okay, so take out your SIN. This is using electricity SIN. Look at page 8 to page 12. Let's get the blanks completed. All right, so first part, we're going to talk about using electricity safely. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so electricity is useful, of course we know that, but if we don't use it safely, it can actually cause injuries. Okay, so this word is injury. Okay, so maybe I just type the entire word out, it'll be easier for you to see. Okay, so okay, let me just put a background so it covers the original eye. Okay, so alright, so electricity is useful, but if we don't use it safely, it can actually cause injury because we can get electric shock. Okay, so if we don't use it carefully, that's why we always must use it carefully. Okay, that's the main thing. So below is a few scenarios that is unsafe because it will cause injury. So sometimes we plug in too many electrical appliances into one power plug. Okay, so the word here is many. Okay, so sometimes we plug in too many electric appliances into one plug, and then when you plug in too many of these electrical appliances into one plug is what we this is what we call, or this situation is what we call overloading. Okay, that means you overload the power plug. Okay, so this situation is called overloading. Okay, so like the picture shown, right, you have one power plug and then you have like at least three appliances connected together. No, actually 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 electrical appliances connected using one power point. This is what we call electrical overloading. Is drawing too much electricity. So when you're drawing too much electricity, or what we call overloading, it can cause the plugs to be too hot. Okay, you can sometimes at home you can feel it. You can observe this as well. It become very hot, and when the socket, the plugs are very hot, it can overheat. It can result in fire. Okay, so sometimes like your handphone, you will have cases of handphone exploding. You have cases of PMD exploding. Sometimes it's because of this also. It's overloading. Okay, so do not plug in too many electrical appliances, because plugging in too many will cause overloading, and when you're overloading the electrical socket, the plugs can become too hot. Fire may result. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. Okay, and same thing when you are handling electrical appliances, make sure that you are holding on to the plastic handles. Okay, that's right there, plastic. Okay, maybe we just take away the, sorry about that. Okay, maybe just take away the background so we can see, right? Okay, okay, so plastic over here. Okay, so when you're holding on to electrical appliances, make sure you hold on to the plastic part for the handle, or the wooden part of the handle. Okay, if there's wood lah. Okay, you realize the similarity between plastic and wood is that they are both electrical insulator. Okay, so I'm gonna write electrical insulator here. I want you to write down as well, because the similarity between plastic and wood is that they are both electrical insulators. That means they don't allow electricity to flow through them, which makes it safe. Because if electricity flows through them and then you touch it, it flows through you as well, and when it flows through you, you will get electric shock. Okay, so that's the main idea here. Touch the insulator part. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the next one. You realize after you wash your hand, you shouldn't touch switches, you will get electric shock. So do not touch switches with wet hands. Right? You do not touch switches with wet hands. And the last one, sometimes when we use the electric appliances for very long years after years, right? The electrical wires that is connecting, the electrical wires, basically they will go through wear and tear, and when they go through wear and tear, sometimes the wires can be exposed. Okay, that means you can see the bare wires coming out, and it's very dangerous because electricity is still passing through them, and let's say you accidentally are not careful, you touch the wires, you can actually get electric shock. So that is a bad thing, and that can cause injury. So make sure that um, when you are touching the electrical appliances, the wires are not exposed. Okay, so check periodically check the wires, whether it's exposed or not. And if it's exposed, don't try to repair it yourself, bring it to an electrician. Sometimes your parents will try to repair, but unless your parents are trained, know what they are doing, don't try, because it can it's about your life lah. Basically, you can die from doing that. So if it's exposed wires, do not use it, throw it away, buy a new one. Simple as that. Okay, so this is page 8. Let's go to page 9. So page 9, there's a scenario over here. You see a mother here cooking, but there is a wire running across the kitchen, definitely unsafe. And then you see overloading, like what we talked about just now, many appliances but a few sockets only, and they are using a lot of adapters. And then there's one boiling water kettle, and then you realize the water is dripping onto the switch, which is obviously there's gonna be trouble here as well. So let's circle the 3 dangers. Okay, and then we name them 1, 2, and 3. So the wires on the floor, that's danger number 1. Come circle this. I'm going to say danger number 1. The overloading of electrical plug, danger number 2. And then the boiling hot water would be danger number 3. Okay, so these 3 danger, let's state the danger. So first one is the wire running across the kitchen. Okay, this is not necessarily a electrical hazard, but this is a safety hazard. Okay, so because if your wires you never keep properly, you never tie them down properly, it can cause people to trip. So when you go pasar malam or those fairs, you realize that the wires are always hidden, either taped to the floor, or they are hidden beneath the board, beneath the floorboard. Okay, so if you have wires running across the room, make sure you tape it down, or you kind of line them against the wall. Okay, that's the best thing to do. Okay, so secondly, you see overloading. This is what we have talked about in page 8. There is overloading of electrical appliances. So this is the danger over here, overloading of electrical appliances. Okay, so you realize that there's too many electrical appliances on the power point. Okay, there's only 3 power point. By right, 1 power point is only for 1, but sometimes we tend to plug 2 maximum. Sometimes you want to try test your luck, you plug 3. But let's say those 3 appliances uses a lot of electricity, you will run into the problem of overloading, and then you may trip the whole house, or you may even end up being a fire hazard. Okay, so danger number 3, if you cannot see, is about this water kettle dripping. So seems fine, but you realize water is dripping onto the power point, so there is a problem here. So the first problem here is that the water, okay, this one is quite long, so let's pick a bigger box. Water may trip, okay, may short circuit the electrical connection. Okay, so when the water drip onto the power point, it may actually trip the electrical connection, and then as a result may cause fire, and then that's what you don't want. Okay, alright, so when water drips onto the power point, basically it can cause short circuit, and when short circuit, sometimes sparks will fly, and then when sparks fly, sometimes fire may result. Okay, so be very careful to place your power point away from water sources. So for example, in the bathroom, you don't see any power point, you don't see any plugs at all, because bathroom is a place that is very wet. But in the living room, in the bedroom, there shouldn't be so much water. Don't put your cup near there, put it away, and then it should be fine. Okay, but bathroom, you don't find any power plug at all, power point at all. Okay, so let's go to page 10. Okay, so just now we talk about using electricity safely. Now we talk about using electricity wisely, how to save electricity. So you have learned that electricity is produced from natural resources such as coal. Okay, coal is a natural resource. It's like a rock, but you can burn it and get energy from it. um Oil, so you can burn oil and then you get energy. And for here, actually, it's more correct to say is crude oil, so maybe I write crude oil. Okay, but oil will be okay also. Okay, and natural gas, I'm gonna write here natural gas. So it's for Singapore, we rely a lot on natural gas. We get the natural gas from Indonesia or from other countries, and then we burn them, drives our turbine, and then turbine, when it spins, creates electricity. Okay, so in Singapore, although we are trying to diversify our energy sources, but primarily it's still burning natural gas, burning coal, burning crude oil, but mainly natural gas. Okay, because it's cleaner in a sense. Okay, so these are all natural resources. So if we don't conserve electricity, conserve means save. Okay, if we don't save electricity, if we don't conserve electricity, one day the natural sources, the natural resource will run out. Okay, it's like you keep spending money but you don't earn money. One day your bank account will be depleted. Okay, so natural resources can be replaced, but they can only they need a lot of time. They need millions of years. So the natural resources cannot be replaced quickly. It takes millions of years, much slower than the rate at which we are using the natural resources to generate electricity. So once they are used up, that's it. No more electricity can be produced because we rely on them. That's why you hear things like hydroelectric power, solar power, geothermal power, that kind of thing. These are renewable sources of energy. Okay, that is different from the usual ones that we are using. Okay, so by if you save electricity, you're actually saving the earth, but more practically speaking, you're actually saving money. Okay, so because you use less electricity, you don't need to pay so much, you're saving money. Okay, so um it's good to save electricity because ultimately you're saving money so you can have more money for other things. Okay, so how can we save electricity? How can we save energy? One way is to use energy saving bulbs. Okay, so there's two words over here. One is energy, the other word is saving. Okay, nowadays no more those usual light bulbs that we are using in class. Nowadays it's all the LED bulbs, um the lamp tube, the sort of thing, the fluorescent lamp tubes. Okay, so all these are supposed to be energy saving bulbs. They are using less electricity, but they are still generating as much brightness as the normal filament bulbs that you use in experiments. Okay, so use energy saving bulbs, use the number of ticks. Okay, so sometimes we like to open and close our fridge door. Okay, keep it closed. Okay, because every time you open your fridge door, the air will become warmer. Okay, so every time you open the door, the fridge door, you want to see, admire what's inside the fridge, you're actually causing the air to warm up. Okay, so every time you open the door, the air will get warmer and warmer and warmer. So for some of you who have tried before, you open the door for a while, and then once you close it, you will hear the motor of the fridge running again. So when the motor is running, it takes up electricity. So every time you open the fridge and you close it, okay, the motor will run, a lot of electricity will be wasted to cool it down to the temperature that you set. Okay, so this is the main thing. Okay, so don't always open the fridge and close the fridge. You want to open, think of what you want to take, quickly open, quickly take out, and that's it. Then close the fridge. Okay, because the longer you open, the warmer the air is gonna be, the more electricity you're gonna waste to cool it down to the same temperature again. And of course, when you're sleeping, you don't need your lights to be on, so sleep with your lights switched off. Okay. Okay, so just two ways that you can save electricity at home. This one quite simple. How to save electricity at home. Sometimes we like to watch TV until we sleep, and then when we sleep, we forget that the TV is still on. So make sure you switch off your TV. Switch off TV before you sleep. Okay, so this is a good habit. Sometimes you know how to use the timer function. You can set like 1 hour, then the off by itself. Okay, but that is still in standby mode. This you still see that the red dot is still lighted up. So it's best to just switch off everything before you sleep. Okay, do not s- s- let the TV program make you go to sleep. Okay, just off it. Okay, and second thing, our house always have internet, broadband, everything. So sometimes you have a router there, and you touch your router is very hot. Okay, means it's using a lot of electricity. So sometimes when we go to school, when we go to work, make sure you switch off your Wi-Fi. Switch off the Wi-Fi at home when no one is around, because your neighbor is not going to use your Wi-Fi. Its password. There's a password to it, right? So when you're not at home, when let's say you go on a holiday, no point switching on the Wi-Fi. Just switch off the Wi-Fi when no one is at home. Sometimes let's say you go to work, go to school, you spend the whole day in school, you can switch it off, and the amount of electricity that you will be saving, right, is going to be a lot. Okay, so how do you tell whether the amount of electricity used by your family is above or below the average amount by other people? If you look at your power bill, which is something I will bring to school next week when you come back for lessons, you can actually check your power bill. Okay, it's actually what you use is actually compared to what the national average is, and is represented by a bar graph. Okay, so by looking at power bills, you know that how much you use as compared to others of your same size of household. Like let's say you're a 3 room flat, what do other people with 3 room flat also use, for example. Okay, so we can check our power bills. We'll look at this when we come back. Right, so this is the last page of the topic. Okay, so this is the summary. So electricity in this topic has we know something about something more about electricity in this topic. Electricity enables bulbs in an electric circuit to light up. Okay, that's what they do, right? Electricity, when electric current passes through it, the light bulb will light up. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, so electricity enables bulbs to light up when there is electric current flowing through it. Okay, the more the current, the greater the current, the brighter the bulb, the lesser the current, the dimmer the bulb. Okay, something like that. Okay, something like that. Okay, so electric current. Let me move it up a little bit. Okay, can. Okay, so electricity enables bulb to light up when the electric current is flowing through them. Okay, so this so the brightness of the bulb. Okay, let me just write over here. So the brightness of the bulb can be affected by two things which we have learned: the batteries and the bulb. Okay, so the brightness of the bulb can be affected by the number of batteries that you use. Okay, so number of batteries that you use and how a battery is connected. You only learn about connecting batteries in series. Okay, so the more batteries connected in series in a circuit, the brighter your bulb's gonna get. Okay, besides the battery, you can also be affected by the arrangement of the bulb. For standard, they learn about arranging bulbs in series and arranging bulb in parallel, but for you guys, you only learn about arranging bulb in series. Okay, so the other blank, just leave it, don't touch the other blank. Okay, all right, so brightness of the bulb can be affected by the number of batteries connected in series or the number of bulbs connected in series as well. And for today, we learned that electricity needs to be conserved, basically saved, so that the natural resource, like your natural gas, like your fossil fuel, can last longer. Okay, natural resources can last longer. Okay, and the last part, that's using wisely. So now we talk about using it safely. So you need to use electricity safely to prevent injuries, basically. All right, so this is the answer for page 8 to page 12. This everything of basically the second half of your using electricity SIN. So make sure you copy down all the blanks that we have gone through. Make sure it's all completed. And for today's homework, you'll be starting on the remaining part of unit 4 electrical circuit, worksheet 2, question 3 to question 5. Okay, ClassKit link is there. Make sure you do it both on ClassKit and also on hard copy. Okay, don't leave it blank. All right, we'll discuss the answers tomorrow. At the same time, later on there will be another lesson to go through the structured question of your review test 1. All right, so I'll see you later and I'll see you tomorrow.